Hello, Inhumanoids. Good to see you guys tonight. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate you showing up. We're going to have a really interesting show tonight. Should be. But before we get started, as always, welcome to Inhumanoids Live. I'm your host, Barton Nunnelly. Sitting next to me, my beautiful wife, Latisha. How you doing, baby?
Hi, I'm doing okay, guys.
So, yeah, we're going to have a good show tonight. And before we get started, we're going to do the prayer requests.
Okay, bear with me, guys. I'm feeling a little bit loopy tonight from my medicine, but
yeah, she's on medication.
I'll explain all that here in just a little bit, but let's take care of the important stuff first. Right. Prayers tonight for Leslie Mitt's daughter, Jennifer. Her husband passed away, I believe it was two weeks ago now. Polly, the little gentleman that I used to take care of, he's not doing too well. Lena Simmons, fighting breast cancer. Judy Wheeler, pneumonia. Rye Voss, Kevin Bryan, Debbie LaBeouf, Lisa Johnson's sister, broke her knee a couple weeks ago. Patricia Garrison, Karen Polk, Sharon Buck, Christy, her mother and father-in-law, Tim Renard, Pam Willard Willis's fiance, Jason Moore's stepdad, John Richards, Ona Johnson's husband and family, Mickey G, hope you're doing well, Mickey G, Kevin and Melissa and Josh Panay, Elijah Henderson, Bennett, the grandson of Krista Tweedy, he's needing some prayers, Kevin and Dee Murphy, Sue G, I have not heard from her this week, but we're still needing prayers for Sue G's brother, Rhonda Howard's husband, Rusty, her daughter, Jessica, her nephew, Matt, and his family, and her sister, Sherry. Scott's life's daughter, Megan, had her surgery. She's doing okay. Still needs some prayers. Vic and Vera Gulati, Henry White Jr. and his son, Sherry Griffey and family, her cousin, Lois, her nephew, Mike, and her godson, Joe, all need prayers. Mindy Masters and her friend, Eddie, and our dog is going crazy again. Krista Tweedy and her family. Tex Wesson and the loss of his friend a few weeks ago. Cowboy 4572's wife, Cindy. Sam Burton. Mark Staten. Spilling tea with Spunky Sparky. Chloe and Nova, her cats. They're not doing real well. She's just needing some prayer for her little fur babies. Kate Webster. Brother Heck. He's not doing too good right now. Martin Groves. Randy Hutchings. Angie Napier and family, Trey Hood, Christy and her husband, Lisa McKenna, Lloyd Davis's sisters, Jerry and Louise, the family of Elaine Lewis, Chuck Lindsay and family, and Melanie, Zachary Stam, Rich Olson's brother-in-law, Jeremy, Donnie Guzzler, recovering from back surgery. Sorry if I messed that last name up. Greg House, Donnie Porter, Kumbo Baker, Mark D, Mark and Rebecca Green, Pamela Stanfich, daughter Miranda, Aaron Smith's niece Riley. She's having seizures and she's been admitted to the Children's Hospital in Kansas City. She's a really good friend of Krista's. Gina Cook and her fur baby Ice. Talked to Gina and she said Ice is probably in his last hours, and bless her heart, it's hard to lose your fur babies. They're part of our family. We have one that's going crazy now. We don't know what's going on with her. Prayers to Hawk. Daryl Denton had shoulder surgery, and he's in a lot of pain, so we need to say some prayers for him. Barry Robinson and family. Crystal Cook for her family and healing of her back. Heather Ann and her family and her friend that is facing spinal surgery. Josh and Nellie Turner need prayers for peace for their household. David Almond in the healing of a foot injury. Trista Myers, prayers for stepdad's surgery on Friday. Deborah Carrier Crawford's husband, Stephen. Somebody sent in a prayer request for starving children across the world. That's definitely needed.
Yeah, in America.
Donnie Avila's friend, who is homeless and just lost his fur baby. Lori Rose on the loss of her mother. Elizabeth Ann's friends, Shayna and Bernice. Okay. That's all the prayer requests we have. I have a couple more things I want to say. Can I go ahead?
Sure, honey.
Okay.
Yeah, go right
Um,
ahead.
First of all, just a sorry to Paul for going over your live last week when we was in the LBL. It wasn't done intentionally. We was just out and
Right.
we had a good signal and we just thought, let's go. And we did. And we apologize. We don't like doing that to our friends. We are so sorry. Huge shout out to one of our faithful people on here. I don't like to call them fans. I like to call them family.
Right.
Truthy Ruthie. Truthy Ruthie.
Hello,
Huge
Truthy
shout
Ruthie.
out. Truthy Ruthie sent us a package in the mail. She sent us these. I've never seen these before, but they're the coolest little dudes. And we will use them come creek walking time in the winter time.
Definitely.
It's a Zippo hand lighter.
Hand warmer.
Hand warmer. You can see this. You fill it up with lighter fluid. It's flameless. Put the lid back on. Put it back in this bag. And you keep it in your pocket or in your hand. And it's a really neat hand warmer. So we'll be using that for Arrowhead hunting.
Thank you so much, Truthy Ruthie.
She also sent us this beautiful set of cross pins. They've been around since 1846. These are some of the nicest pins you can buy. I know for sure. This is a pen and pencil set. If you can see that, it's chrome. She sent us those. Thank you so much. She also sent us a monetary, did I say that right? Donation.
Thank you so much. Yes.
She's just trying to help us out with getting our flare or our night thermal camera.
Right.
So she sent us that. So shout out to you, Truthy Ruthie. You're the best. You know, you guys, you don't have to do any of this, but you do, and we truly appreciate everything that you guys do for us.
Yes, we do.
I need to shout out to Sherry Griffey, who sent me 3 cases of protein shakes to heal my foot. So thank you so much, Sister Sherry. I love you. It'll take me a while to drink them. And she also sent Bart some chocolate donuts. I think is just a little gift to make him feel better.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be taking care of me for a while. Gina and Jason, shout out to you for being with us this weekend at the LBL. We had a blast with you guys. War Criminal, thank you for being our driver. Always. You're always our driver. Thank you so much. And thank you to BM Bama Cryptids for the picture. And we'll talk about the picture here in just a little bit and show it to you. She caught something that we didn't catch on our live. Real quick, the birthdays for this month: Matt Inch, Sherry Griffey, Kevin Jones, and Stephen Hall. That's all I have. If anybody else has a birthday for May, please send it to me at lmsmith1970@hotmail.com, and I will make sure you get a shout out. I'm sorry that took so long, but that's all. Now,
well, that's the important stuff. So, hello to everybody in the chat, all my wolf brothers and sisters. Such great people in the chat. Thank you all for coming here tonight. We had a week, didn't we, honey?
I did.
Well, I think we
yeah,
both
we did.
did.
We had a week. We had
everything
a really,
was fine
really
until
crazy week.
Yeah, everything was fine and normal until I live streamed from the John James Audubon Wetlands Trail.
Mm-hmm.
I walked that whole trail by myself while Latisha was at work, without any incident, and come out and met Latisha, and we decided to go to the Eagle Overlook, which is right down the road. We go there, and I couldn't get any footage of the eagles because they were all too far away, so we decided to come home. And on the way home, this happened on Wolf Road, just outside of the Audubon State Park. On the way home, Latisha starts brake checking in front of me and pointing out the window. And I thought, oh, okay, she's seen a bunch of deer or something. And so I slowed down. This is a busy road, to be a back road. I slowed down, and she had not seen deer at all. You want to tell them what you saw, baby?
What I saw was, I was just, like you said, I was just driving home to get back to, well, we was actually going to go back to where you started the live stream. Was we going back there, or was we coming home? We was coming home, that's right. And just out of the peripheral vision, I seen the darkest black I've ever seen in my life, and it just caught my attention immediately. And I look over to my left, and out in the field, I'm not really good with, how distance is, but I always just think of football fields. So I'm thinking, 70, 80 yards out, maybe not that far. Not real good with that. But I seen 2 of the blackest figures I've ever seen in my life. Just the blackest black you've ever seen. And I noticed that they were both standing up. They were humanoid figures on their standing upright. One was a little bit taller than the other one, and I couldn't get my phone out. I was just trying to get Bart's attention, thinking that he could get a better look at them because he was behind me. And he did get a little bit better look. You can tell what you see.
Not much, though. Yeah, so we both, keep in mind, we were both moving down the road. But I looked over and I saw two figures standing about 200 feet away. And like Latisha said, they were solid black, head to toe. They had extremely wide shoulders, standing on their two legs. And their trunk narrowed down into a really peculiarly narrow waistline. A real skinny waist and real skinny legs and long arms. Now, neither one of us had a phone out at that time, or we might have been able to get a picture. But like I say, we couldn't stop because of traffic. We went right down to the trail and immediately turned around and went back with my phone ready, but they were gone by the time we got there. And so still kind of in shock about that. I haven't seen one of these things for years and years. And there was two of them. One on the left was a little bit shorter than the one on the right. They both had really broad shoulders, really skinny waists. Thank you, Brother Hawk and Sherry.
It was crazy. It was like you said. They looked like a V shape. Upside down.
Right, their legs were so thin they were hardly noticeable to me, but I was in motion, so keep that in mind. And then we had planned to come down to the Land Between the Legs to meet with a special friend, Gina Cook, and her friend Jason, and we went down there and met them, and a couple of our Wolf brothers and sisters joined us, and we really had a time down there until Latisha twisted her ankle. But Friday night, now this one night after we saw these figures in the field, the war criminal and I, along with everyone in the party, I believe was with us, right? There was about 10 of us. We were walking down this old trail late at night, and we come to this old bridge, and I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't have any of my weapons at all with me.
First time ever, I believe.
It's first time ever. And we come to this old bridge, and War says, "Look, we got eye shine over there." Man, I looked, and there was eye shine there, solid green eye shine. It looked like it was standing up next to a tree, and as soon as our lights hit it, it went down to the ground really low and started staring at us. And its eyes were about 6 inches apart, which makes it, I would say, quite a bit bigger than we were. And War Criminal's a big guy. So then it just kind of casually looked up and then back down, and this wandered off really slowly and casually, like it wasn't afraid of us at all. So yeah, it's been a week. And then Latisha, the very next night, sprained her ankle in her knee, and now she's in a, what do you call it?
A hard boot cast, air cast, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
For 4 weeks. The doctor said there's some damage to the tendons and to the ligaments. They call it a high ankle sprain. If you ever played football and you've heard of a lot of people in football have these injuries. Not comfortable at all. So he's going to give me about 4 weeks to try to heal on my own. And he said after 4 weeks, if I'm not showing any improvement on the tears, that we would be doing surgery next. So you guys just
please add her to your prayer list.
Yeah, I could use some prayers myself. So anyway, let's go on. Possibly divine intervention if we got out of there. That's what Lee Tracker says. Possibly divine intervention if you got out of there. Right.
Well, I wasn't comfortable without any of my weapons, and I realized we had several ladies in the group with us, so I immediately called for everybody to retreat back to the car, which we did, and I put on my sword and my knife and grabbed my spear, and then me and War and Kevin Jones and you
and me
went back to the area, and you had the night vision camera.
Onyx camera.
Unfortunately, whatever was there had already gone, and I don't know what it was. I've yet to even download the footage. We've been so busy since we got home. But I'll be downloading that footage tomorrow and hopefully putting out a video of what happened tomorrow night. So if all goes well, barring any more unforeseen catastrophes, it is. Hello, Larry and Auntie Honey, Werewolf, Fisher, Brother Martin, Bubba, how you doing? Maddie, Truth Walker, Jenny. Hello, Sugar Britches. Thank you so much.
A quick story too. You don't know about this one. I was watching the news a little bit earlier, and there was a house fire here in Henderson. And I'm sorry I didn't catch the name, but there was a house fire here in Henderson last night, and the family was able to get out. Everybody escaped except for one animal passed in the fire. But the kid that was talking on to the news crew said that something had woke him up and was like beating on his door, hollering and screaming. He said, but he was dreaming. He was dreaming that somebody was beating on his door and hollering and screaming at him. And that's what woke him up to find out that the house was on fire. He said he don't know what it was, if it was God or if it was, what it ended. He said he just don't know. But he said he knows that he's grateful to whatever it was that woke him up and got him out of the house.
And on the way to work this morning, that's probably what I saw. It was like 5 or 6 fire trucks, 2 or 3 ambulances, and
what it was
15 police patrol cars
Yep.
blocking the way. So that was probably it. Yeah.
So he said he just he don't know if it was God or who, but somebody woke him up.
Glad he made it out okay.
And the whole family, except for one animal. So.
Hello, Gary. How you doing? What's up, broski? Cryptidville. Kelly Lewis. Oh, we got so many good people. Catherine. How you doing, hon? Sherry. Hello there. Ristol.
Sherry, thank you for the
Thank you
donuts.
so much. I know you're trying to get me fattened up for some reason, aren't you, Sherry? I do need to gain some weight, probably.
Truthy Ruthie, Truth Walker, Sugar
Sam Barton.
Kathy
Werewolf.
Grant, hey.
Mammy J. Hall's in the audience tonight. Hello, Mammy.
Hey, Cryptidville. We're waiting for somebody to call in, guys.
Truth Walker, how are you doing, hon? Good to see you and Aloria. Sir Malcolm. Wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't ask for a better audience. Hello there, War. How you doing, bro? Yeah, that was a crazy night, Friday night, right? Now, we went out Saturday night as well, but we didn't have any luck. We did a live stream from the Empire Farms down there in LBL. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate that. And I did my live stream, my Aztec Death Stream live. Hello, Brother William. Crystal. Sparky. So, yeah, I did my Aztec Death Stream live, and I apologize. I'm sorry that I scared everybody that was watching. I scared all their animals and probably made all kinds of mischief happen. But next time, I'm sure. Next time I'll
answer.
Well, yeah, you guys heard the answer, but we didn't from where we were at.
Right.
Next time I'll be sure and warn everybody before I take off and do that. Hello there, Chris Phoenix. How you doing? How you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. Kelly Lewis.
Auntie Honey, go ahead and close your eyes, sweetheart. I may close mine before the night's over, too. Before the show's over.
No, you won't.
I might. I'm feeling a little woozy.
You're a little woozy?
Yeah.
Well, you'll be okay. Man.
Yeah, I hope so.
Everybody say a couple of prayers for Latisha that she does heal well and doesn't have to have that surgery. That's welcome, Jack Napier.
Nice. Thank you, Jack.
Hawk said he was off work for 4 months when he fractured his.
Hey, Holly.
Yeah, hello, Holly. Mr. Anderson.
What was it, Catherine? What did Lee Tracker say?
Hello, Ella.
LOL, that death scream sounds like Jerry's Choctaw war cry.
Really? You have to film him sometime doing that and send it to me, Ella. I like to see that. It stirs up all the animals in the area. And, I did that scream down there in LBL, and we took off walking, and within 5 minutes, we were looking in the eyes of something. I have no idea what it was. All we could see were the eyes shining back at us. So dark we couldn't see any of the body. So whatever that was, it was.
Well, you also said that it felt like it was following us back because you kept saying "go, go."
Yeah,
go.
I felt like it might.
We kept hearing something following us down the right hand. But then Gina heard something on the left of us too. So
yeah,
there was no telling what it was.
All I could think about when that was happening was you guys, you girls, and I didn't want to get anybody hurt, and I didn't have the means to protect anybody, so course, I said, everybody get back to the car immediately. And luckily, all's well that ends well. And maybe the next time we'll get it on film. Who knows?
Thank you, Rich. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you guys for all the prayers.
Lyrical Jazzy, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while.
Warpino says, I love that beautiful dark place.
Yes, Warts. It's very enchanting, I guess you'd call the word. Once you go down to the LBL once, you can't really forget about it, right? You have to go back. Hello, Brother Heck. You're not feeling well. Everybody say some prayers for Brother Heck. We have a GoFundMe set up on the community page. He's battling cancer right now. So if you can do it, please go donate to him and help this man. He's a wonderful human being. Just want him to get well and pray the good Lord allows him to heal. Cancer is a terrible, terrible,
Yes.
terrible thing, but it's not the end, brother. Have faith.
Right.
The good Lord will see you through. You got a lot of people praying for you. 156 people in the chat right now. We'll all be praying for you tonight. So keep your chin up, man.
Right. Lyrical Jazzy and Mom. Hello. Glad you guys are here tonight.
And Brother William, I'm thinking this weekend we might come and pay you a visit. Let you show us that creek where the Bigfoot footprints were found. If you're up for that.
Let me answer this. Yes. Lee Tracker E. The chiggers are out. Me
Oh
and
my
Bart
goodness.
have several on us. We used what is it?
Paramethrin. And that's as strong as you can get.
We used that. I covered our clothes in it, bagged them up, covered our clothes in it again, bagged them up. We wore them. We still have, I've got like at least 5 or 6 chiggers on me. I haven't found any ticks. So I'm thinking Bart found a couple of ticks on him, several chigger bites. Elijah was covered in ticks. Gabby, I'm not sure. I think she got off a couple. And I'm not sure about everybody else, but yep, they're out. And I believe they stay out year round at LBL, honestly.
Right.
The
chiggers don't.
They do. I don't know.
My biologist friend tells me that the ticks really never do go dormant down there. And I can attest to that, the veracity of that statement, because one time we were down there in like January, February with Martin and Daryl, and we all got ticks off of us. So.
Absolutely.
I know, Pancho, please tell us how you fight the ticks.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't say with swords and knives. But yes, we pulled a couple of ticks off of us, and the chigger bites are still coming up. So we don't really know how many chiggers we have at the moment.
Read that, baby. Brother Heck.
Yeah. I don't know how much longer I'm meant for this plane, but same to do my due diligence as a watchman. Yes, Brother Heck, you still got a long life ahead of you, man. Don't give up, okay? And don't start feeling like your time is near, because I think the good Lord has some plans for you, okay?
So I guess our
guest looks like he's running a little bit late, but that's okay.
Anybody got any questions you want to talk to us? Ask us.
Well, let's go ahead and put that picture up that Bama Bigfoot sent us. So
okay.
I'm going into this haunted house, guys. Believe it or not, there's a haunted house there in LBL, Empire Farms, and I'm walking through this house, which is usually something I don't do. And if you guys watch the live stream, you see what I'm talking about. But Bama Bigfoot caught this. And this is the easiest way for me to do this, guys. So just about every video we do, there's a bunch of people saying, hey, timestamp 3941, there's a creature or something looking at you. But the easiest way to do it is go ahead and take a screenshot of that and send it to me. Because honestly, I don't have time to rewatch my videos, and I can't stand to see or hear myself on video anyway. So let's go ahead and you see this. There's something standing at the door, right? Let's do the close-up, honey.
Okay.
Now, I did not see this when I was videoing. When I was shooting the video inside that house, I saw nothing at the door. So you guys tell me what that looks like, because I don't know what that is. Thank you, Christopher.
It's creepy looking to me.
Right?
Whatever it is.
Now, hello, brothers. South Force 10. Good to see you tonight. I hope you enjoyed your time in Florida. Hope you guys didn't get too sunburned down there. Usually that happens the first day and your vacation is miserable. Hello, Sharon. Christine says it looks like an owl. Well, that would be an awful tall owl, bro. But I don't know. You might be right. Who knows? I don't know what it was. I did not see it there when I was videoing taking the video through the house, walking through the house. So don't know what that was. Do I think that skinwalkers and shapeshifters exist? Yes. How they go about their business, I don't know. The mechanism by which they do that has to be supernatural, but even then, I think it's more like a spell, right? A spell, perception, altering your perception, thinking that a man can turn instantly from a human being to a wolf with the musculature and the bone structure. That beggars belief, even to someone like me who's seen and done it all just about. But I do believe they exist, but I think it's more of a spell that has to do with your perceptions and the perceptions of those who see these things. So again, I'm no expert. I never claimed to be an expert. I've had a lot of experiences, written a few books, but that doesn't make me an expert at anything. House painting, I'm probably an expert at that.
Yeah.
That's about it.
You're an
Poncho
expert
says
at
he
being a
uses
good
full
husband, too.
body pantyhose. 0 ticks, chiggers, fleas, leeches, and gnats. Poncho, where do we get those at? I've never seen full body
Somebody
panties.
said that on the show last week or the week before last.
Really?
Too. Yeah. Chris Phoenix, isn't this
Brilliant.
year supposed to be a big year for the cicadas and locusts? Yes. 2 different types of locusts are supposed to come out. Hey,
All right,
Illumination.
here's our guest here. How you doing, brother?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for calling in. Sure appreciate it.
No problem.
Can
So-
everybody hear him
Yeah,
okay?
can everybody hear this still okay? Now, how would you like me to introduce you? Would you like me to say your name?
My name's Dave.
Okay. David. Now, David contacted me last year, and he had something happen to him and his buddies on Wolf Road, and it was almost at the exact same spot where Latisha and I saw these creatures. So, Dave, tell us a little bit about what happened, if you don't mind.
Man, it was the beginning of May, 1995. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. We got up early. We was heading over across from Evansville over to we was heading to Spotsville, to a river camp I rented down there.
Yeah.
And man, we went across the twin bridges, got over there where you turn, go beside the dump, where people watch the birds, the eagles and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
We turned down that road, and man, I'm cruising along about 50 miles an hour, pulling a trailer with a 4-wheeler on it, and a full-size Blazer raised up a little bit. And man, I see this dog down the road, maybe 100 yards up in front of me, and it's in the ditch, running down the road, same way, heading the same way we was. And I mean, this thing was just it was we've seen it, but it was just huge. It looked like a dog pony.
Right.
Anyway, man, we're cruising along with this thing, and we're getting closer and closer. We're right about where people look at the eagles right there, about at this time. And man, this thing comes up out of the ditch, up into the road that we're driving on. Got right in the very center of the road, right on the center line. Turned around, sit down on his butt, and turned around and just stood there and stared at us coming at it. And it's like, man, this is this dog suicidal or what?
Right.
And we're getting closer. And man, this thing is not moving. I mean, it's just sitting there looking straight at us, and we're looking straight at it, and we're starting. I could tell you personally, I'm starting to get a little nervous because something's not right about this. I mean, this thing is just. I've got German Shepherds. This thing was huge. German Shepherds are big. This thing was huge. Man, as we got closer to this thing, man, like I said, I'm doing 50 miles an hour, pulling a trailer, got a 4-wheeler behind me, and a full-size Blazer, and man, I'm getting closer, and man, this thing, it just sitting it will not move. It's sitting in the middle of the road. Kind of over, kind of in my lane a little bit, but pretty much to the center of the road.
Yeah.
Man, this thing will not move. And as we're getting closer to it and closer to it, man, I finally had to go in the other side of the road, in the other lane, to go around this thing. It would not move. As we went by this thing, man, the passengers that was with me, man, they're like 2 feet away from this thing as we passed by it. And the guy in the back, he was sitting up in between the seats in the back, up between the person in the front seats, kind of hanging over the front seats. And he said, "Man, it's got a person, it's got a human face." So I'm like, I backhand him right in the head. And so I started told him, and
You didn't want to hear that, did you?
as we went by this thing, I didn't even look at it. I looked towards the ground in the left hand lane, to where I wouldn't look towards him. I would just keep an eye on the road. But I didn't even look in the rearview mirror as we passed this thing. But this thing was sitting in the road. His head was about as high as the hood of my blazer. Which,
wow.
That's
Sitting down.
Yes, on his butt.
Mm-hmm.
On his butt. It looked like a dog with a person's face. I don't know how to describe it.
Now, you did see it enough, Dave.
Terrifying.
Right?
Terrifying.
And it terrified everyone in the vehicle, right?
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
now I set up late last night to sketch this thing out for you. You go ahead and
Man,
put
I
that
can
up.
tell you what, you got a pretty good drawing, dude. You're pretty right on it. That's not what we saw. It had maybe a little bit more of a schnauzer type look to it. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's what we saw. Very similar to what you draw.
Very, very, very weird.
Similar. Man, this thing was huge.
Right now, how tall are you, Dave?
I'm 6'2", 6'3". And I've got 125-pound German Shepherds, They're big dogs, but they were nothing compared. They were nothing compared to the size of this thing sitting in the road.
Right.
I mean, it was just huge. Man, dude, I don't know what. As we passed it, I didn't even look back. I didn't look in the rearview mirror. I floored it, and we headed to Spotsville. And man, we got there like here, and we was there for, it was Friday, Saturday morning, Friday night, Saturday morning. As we was heading over there, probably Sunday morning, we finally, spoke to each other. The other people that was in the truck with me, like, man, what the hell was that? And man, it was a damn dog with a person's face. I mean, but this was no dog.
Right.
This was no dog.
Now this was 30 years ago, Dave. And
in 1995.
Yeah. Now you know the history of my family going all the way back to 1975.
Yes, sir.
So we know that these things exist here.
Absolutely.
My main concern of getting up here and telling everybody the truth about these things is to show that they're all connected in some way. All these unexplained phenomena. You'll experience one phenomenon, but if you dig deeper, 7 or 8 times out of 10, you'll discover that the experiencer has experienced other unexplained phenomena. Now, you saw something when you lived in Illinois. Is that correct?
Yeah, we lived here. We lived here in Evansville. We were over in Illinois, over by Barton Falls, over by Bell Smith Springs, and Hoosier National and Charlie National Forest. Man, we're cruising along, and man, there's this big creature standing up beside a tree, just standing there watching, just standing there looking at us go by. And it's me and my wife, and I'm like, was that a bear or was that a Bigfoot? And she's like, man, I think it's a Bigfoot. Man, we turned around, went back, it was gone. It was not still there. But undoubtedly, man, it was a damn Bigfoot standing there looking at us, watching us go by.
Right, I mean, broad daylight, right?
Broad daylight. It was toward the evening. It wasn't bright daylight, but yeah, it was still daylight.
Yeah. Right now, I forgot to ask Dave. When you went by this thing sitting in the middle of the road on Wolf Road, the eyes, what kind of eyes did it have? Did it have any eye shine in the car lights?
Man, I can't really, I don't recall no eye shine.
Yeah, it's
I
probably
mean,
just black
here's the
eyes.
deal. As we got closer to that thing, I wasn't looking at it. I looked away from it. So its eyes could have shown gold and purple. I have no idea because I didn't look at it. I was terrified. I felt doom. I felt like we passed by something very evil. I don't know. I mean, it didn't try, like it tried to jump on us and kill us or nothing like that. I mean, it just sits there, man. It refused to move to where we had to look at this thing. But we're looking at the thing pretty good, but we're doing 50 mile an hour. It's just not moving, We're all like, shit, I don't know, man. I always wonder, man, what the heck would have happened if I just pulled over after I went around it, got out of the truck, and walked back and said, man, what are you? You know what? I was too scared. I would have never done that. But I wonder what the heck it would have said, if anything.
All right. You probably still wonder this day.
I wonder this day. Here's the deal. I understand. The suckers are still there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can probably go back there and talk to him today if you want to. I personally, I think it'd be kind of reckless.
Right. Well, what I got from those,
scary.
yeah, the thing that bothered me is I just walked that whole 1 mile trail by myself. Right. And they were standing right at the end of the tree break or the line break. They cleared and put up telephone power lines and all that stuff right down through there a few months back. And it veered off toward the curb to the right. When I looked down it, because I come out of the park and I looked down each side of that line break and I didn't see anything, but these things were standing right there facing the road, almost like it wanted us to see and wanted me to know that.
Exactly, man. Exactly. That's what I felt about this thing as I passed it, man. It wanted us to see it. Yeah. It wanted us to see it.
Yes, and I got the feeling that they've been watching me the whole time I was on that trail, that nature trail.
I don't doubt it a bit.
I think so too.
I think so too, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's something very spooky about that part of Henderson, Kentucky.
When you think about it, that where they were standing in that line break or you walked that trail, the river was up, so there wasn't many places back there they could have been, except for right there near that trail.
Yeah. Or
they would have been walking through the swamps.
Right.
Well, when we saw it, I never saw anything but on all fours. We didn't, but it never stood up on two legs. We worked there long enough sport to do so. I mean, we zipped on by and we kept on going.
Right.
I still, one of the people that was there with us that night, they're no longer here, but one of the people are. He's still alive. I'm 62. I think this young man's about 59.
Mm-hmm.
He's still alive. I guarantee he still remembers it just like it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one that got busted in between the eyes and backhanded when he said it's got a person's face.
Right.
He's the one that got hit right between the eyes by me. Because him saying that terrified me. It's like, man, you just acknowledge this thing. You just acknowledge that you're seeing this thing, and it knows we're seeing it.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Right. Well, next time you talk to this fella, show him that sketch that I sent you a copy of, and see what he thinks about it. See if he can recall any more detail in that, because I know he was looking right at it when you was trying to look away from it.
He was about 2 feet from it as we went by. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was on the other side of the car, I was away from it. They were right on top of the thing as we went by. I mean, they weren't 2 feet from it as we passed it.
Yeah. How many people were in the car altogether, Dave?
Three. And all three of us seen the same thing. But when we finally talked about it a few days later, man, had a person's face. I was like, man, it did. It did. And we all acknowledged we seen the exact same thing. We didn't say a word about that night though. We got to my river camp, went up in my camper, crawled up in bed, went to sleep. Man, we were terrified.
Yeah. Now, after you moved out of Henderson, you moved to Evansville, Indiana. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, tell us a little bit about your experiences over there, and that's just right across the river from Henderson, Kentucky. Right
It's
across
right. It's
the
pretty
river.
much right across. I'm pretty much right across the river from where the people look at the eagles.
Mhm.
I'm just about straight across the river from there. No, I'm not very far from where we saw that thing. Not at all.
Right.
If you could just go a straight line across the river, I'm probably 2 miles from there.
That's amazing.
About 2 miles.
Now you've seen some strange stuff over there too, like UFOs, right?
Absolutely. 3 of us saw it that night. We're all sitting over with my neighbors, and it's 4th of July. So we're drinking a beer with my neighbor, just watching the sky, and just I had to get up and I had to get up and give her a few of them beers I drink. And I was
Right.
kind of over in the bush, and taking a leak. And man, I was standing there, man, I looked up, and I'm like, what the heck is that? Man, it's huge. I mean, this thing was, it was twice the size of our block, almost like, maybe more. I'm not sure how high up it was. It didn't look like it was very high up at all.
Mhm.
Not a sound. It didn't make not one sound. It was like 3 long arms coming out of the center that kind of glowed like a street light.
Yeah.
But it had arms. It had arms coming way out of it, probably 100 feet long or so. I think
Wow.
it was just having a triangle, three arms like that.
Giant
Yeah.
triangle.
Totally silent. Totally silent.
Well, I wish I had a dog for everybody that's told me almost exactly the same thing. Gigantic triangle, one light in the center.
Mhm.
I've seen something like that myself, only it was a giant triangle with a light on each point. That was back in the 80s, yeah. So is that the only time you've seen strange lights floating around?
We should the following year, same day, 4th of July, late, probably midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, after everybody pretty much done shooting fireworks. I'm out here riding my 4-wheeler, going to check around all my property, making sure it's all good. And man, these things, man, they look like ATVs, like a 4-wheelers in the sky, just kind of zipping around. They sounded like a 4-wheeler kind of.
Really
Anyway,
noisy.
I jump off my mind, run in the house. Come here, look at this. We just run back out there, man. It's sitting there. It just kind of makes a circle around the side, around our area where we live in a kind of wooded area. It made a circle around where there was no trees, kind of just just taking things out, and it just headed towards the Ohio River, went across the Ohio River, and it got the county. I don't know, cool. I mean, it's cool. I don't know what it was, but yeah, man, it had kind of a sound, what kind of sound did it make, Darlie? It had a sound, but I can't remember exactly what it. You can't even. No, not really. I would say I'm kind of like a muffled 4-wheeler sound. Would it sound like to me?
Right.
But it's cool. I mean, cool. I hear all kinds of people reporting seeing UFOs in Evansville.
Yeah, well, we don't even bother to report them here in Henderson. That they're so common that people don't even bother to report them anymore. We used to, you'd have 1 or 2 accounts on the local news a year, but now they don't even cover it that much. So,
but I find it just
Good night, lyrical jazzy.
I find that this UFO stuff happens upwards all close to Bigfoot and Dogman places.
right. You're exactly right.
Happen right on top of each other.
Exactly right, man. And what are the chances of that if these things are not related, Dave?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be almost impossible, So, well, let's get to the most commonly experienced inhumanoid, and that would be ghosts and spectral phenomenon.
Yes, sir. We see them here in Evansville, Indiana, over on the 300 block of Jefferson, right by the Pottersville Church. We lived in a house right there. We had infrared cameras on our house, and me and my wife kind of glanced at the camera,
Yeah.
And we see two orb-looking things kind of just come floating down into the view, you know, and man, man, they turned into two kids. They're kind of walking. How would you describe them?
They were kind of like walking after each other.
Yeah, but one was a little higher up than the other.
Yeah, one was taller.
But neither one of those feet went all the way to the ground. I didn't see that. I didn't see them beyond the knee, but for the knee down, I didn't see them. I didn't see nothing. Just from the knee up.
Yeah.
They just, I don't know. I think they've been there a lot longer than we had. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Used to be a cemetery on that block, from what I understand. Before the Pottersville Church was built, the cemetery was removed, and you know, I believe some of them bodies were probably beyond retrieval.
Yeah. Now,
And
just to be clear,
there's still, I believe there's a lot of spirits right there in that 300 block of
sure,
Evansville, Indiana.
a lot of
300
spirits
block of
everywhere.
Jefferson.
300 block of Jefferson,
it's
Evansville,
like
Indiana. Everybody got that?
300 block of Jefferson, Evansville, Indiana. But look, it's, you know, in the church, you can see them go to Pottersville Church on Sunday. You know, they're in there.
Mm-hmm.
They're in there. I worked at the church for about 3 years. And yeah. Yep, they're there. No doubt. No doubt.
Right. So just to be
never
clear,
really had nothing scary me. I mean, there was nothing scary about them. They were cool as they could be, I thought. You know, I thought they were cool as they could be.
Good night,
So-
Rhonda.
yeah, good night, Rhonda. Thank you for being here, hon. Now, just to be clear, Dave, you saw two orbs of light turn into children.
But they like, man, the orbs, man, they had legs, the legs popped out of it. The upper torso popped out of it. You know, it went from an orb to a torso with legs. And they're just, you know, just walking. I don't know. Probably a repetitive thing, you know what I'm saying? Where they've probably done that hundreds of times, up to 1,000 years. I don't know,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
It was probably a repetitive thing. I don't know, you know?
Right. So Hawk wants to know where exactly was that 300 block of where in Evansville?
300 block of Jefferson in Evansville.
300 block of Jefferson Street in Evansville, Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys, you know, if you doubt this man's word, then you guys can go over there and experience some of this yourself. And that's one of the things that happens when you're telling the truth. I had one guy use my first book, Mysterious Kentucky, and he never seen a Bigfoot before, but he used that and then the locations in that book, and he actually went and had his first Bigfoot experience by going to one of the locations in my book. So you can do that too. You know, we're telling the truth. So go check it out if you're anywhere close to Evansville, Indiana, 300 block of Jefferson. You guys go check it out some night and see what you might see. Now, anything else you want to tell us, brother?
No, not really. I think, you know, I'm 62 years old. You know, I've seen some stuff. I have no explanation for what it was.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool. You
Yeah.
know, the dog in the middle of the road, that scared the hell out of me. There was nothing fun about that. But the other two, I've seen a Bigfoot stand against a tree. I mean, that stuff was cool. Because they wouldn't stand right there on us. You know, I mean, my trip went within 2 feet of this thing as we went by. We was right on top of it. And it was scary. You know, I just, I don't know. I was scared to even look at it as we got closer. I looked away from it.
Yeah, it's hard to look at one of these things if you're real close at them, you know, real close to them. It's hard to look them in the eye if you really know what they are. So, I mean, if you do, sometimes when you look one of these things in the eye, it speaks to you telepathically, or it can alter your perception of what you're seeing or what you're not
I
seeing.
know that a bit. I know for some reason I purposely looked away from it. I mean, like, dude, don't look at it. You know, the closer you get, the closer you get, the less you look at it. Do not look at it. I didn't. You know, especially when I noticed, you know, that sucker's head's about as high as the head of my damn truck, and it's sitting there in the damn road. And you know, I mean, how high up is a blazer off the road, sitting on 30? You know, sitting on some smaller lift the tires, and it lifted up just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, just seriously, 4 foot, 4.5 foot,
Right.
to the top of the hood. And man, this thing's head was that high.
That's
Sitting on
crazy.
his butt.
Right. So he would have been, no telling how tall he would have been if he stood up.
He was damn big.
Bigger than you, right? More body mass than your own.
Oh man, yes. As far as I can tell, yeah, it was bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. So it was completely intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Completely, just completely terrifying.
And you're sure it was no species of dog?
No dog sitting the road on his butt be that tall.
Right. I don't think even a Great Dane would be that tall sitting on his butt. And I used to own a Great Dane. He wasn't that tall. And I'm sure that seeing a normal, natural species, any species of dog wouldn't terrify 3 grown men, right?
Man, the best way I can describe it, if you take what you drew and put more human pictures to that drawing.
More what?
More of a human picture, more of a human face picture than with that dog face.
Uh-huh.
But like the nose. The nose was more like a person's nose. It was not like a long, big dog's nose. It was more like a person's nose.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's a detail you just now sharing with me, bro. So I'll have to modify the sketch. Yeah.
Man, at least it's been 30 years.
Sure.
And I'm 62.
I'm losing him.
Right.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't stutter normally.
Good
But
night,
I can
Bobby.
tell I'm stuttering about this. Man, this stuff makes me nervous.
Yeah.
I would not walk by where me and you see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that thing's playing.
Yeah. Well, the next time I go walking that trail, Dave, I'll come get you. How about that?
You know what? I'll go if I have to.
You don't have to,
if it's
man.
my time to go, I'll be going. If it's not.
Right. That's the way I look at it too. And we're no strangers to going and meeting our friends and acquaintances from YouTube and online. So actually, the guy who used my book to experience his first Bigfoot sighting somehow tracked me down and got my address, and he came up and knocked on my door.
Yeah.
Remember that, honey?
Yeah, I remember that.
And he said, my wife opened the door, and he said, the only thing is this Barton Nunnelly's house, and Barton Nunnelly lived here.
Yeah, I asked if this. Yeah.
He said, the Barton
I
Nunnelly.
just could imagine how terrifying that could have been.
Well, right, it wasn't.
That just had to be just unbelievably terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, you see, it turned out he was a nice guy, and I didn't have to kill him, Dave.
I'm talking about with that encounter you guys had yourselves there, the Squatchin Monster.
Oh, the Squatchin Monster, yeah, that was
intensely terrifying.
It was, especially for a 9-year-old kid. We're all young.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You're just a child with this shit.
Right. And it was killing all our animals, and it was
to learn about something like that at 9 years old, and by now that your age, I mean, you got to understand it more than anybody.
Yeah. Well, I've had 50 years to think about it, so it gives me a pretty good head start on most people in this field. So yeah, it was terrifying, and glad that's over, and that stuff doesn't happen anymore.
Man, I hear stuff still happens around Scottsville a little bit.
No, it does.
There for a little while, but I hear stuff still happens around Scottsville.
It does,
but
man.
I mean, the people are telling you this stuff, though, that their liability to be telling you the truth is just not, it's not this perfect. I mean, most of the people at Scottsville are nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think I can see why they're nuts. For early with beasts around there, and they see these things on occasion. And
right. Well, I've got 2 Bigfoot sighting reports from Wolf Road last year, so these things are still there. Not only are the Dogmen there, but the Bigfoot are too. So, yeah, double trouble when you come into Henderson. So, if you ever do.
Hey, listen, your nose on your drawing is not far off. It's just Lenny had more of a person's type nose.
Yeah. Well,
Lenny
definitely
had more of a straight across schnauzer mustache
no.
underneath that human looking nose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, schnauzer look. And
Yeah.
they get the straight across mustache, they get the straight across the eyebrows, straight across chin. But yeah, I mean, it had more of a schnauzer type look to it, but there just was no damn schnauzer. She was not accurate.
How much would you say it weighed if you had to guess, Dave? Judging by your own weight.
But it was bigger than me. 6'3", 250 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, I wouldn't want to try to arm wrestle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Dave, we sure appreciate you coming on here and sharing your experience with us all. And
hey man, you keep doing the work you're doing, man. People need to understand that this stuff is real. And, you know, I'm not so drunk a fool. Want to call up tonight and just tell you a bunch of BS. And man, what I had to say is the truth. You know,
right.
People are seeing this stuff. You can believe them, you don't believe them. That's up to you. If you want to learn, you want to believe it for yourself. Go ahead and experience.
Yeah.
Go ahead and experience. Then you believe it.
Then they'll believe it. Won't have any problem believing it then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, David, I appreciate it. I will keep doing what I'm doing, man. I've been doing it since 1985, and I don't plan to stop now. So, yeah, wish us luck, bro. And what's that?
I'll meet you over there. You want to go walking down that trail someday? You can.
Yeah, I'll do that, and we'll take our wives with us, or they can look. They can look out. Right, mine too. As soon as her leg heals up, we need protection against those things.
Absolutely. Man, you have a good night, mister.
You too, Dave. Thanks for calling in, bro. I appreciate you.
Good night.
No problem.
Talk soon. Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, wait. Oh, well. Sorry, Hawk. I missed that. He said, could the guest see the ears of the one on the road?
Yes, the ears were correct, unlike the nose. Now, I just did that, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him today. So I'll be revising that sketch, but the ears were like a German Shepherd's, he said, Hawk, sticking straight up. So definitely. Just 1 second here.
There's
Any other questions?
William Bias says, I remember it vividly 3 foot from my face. I will never forget. I can't sleep with the window uncovered. That was his first experience. I believe he's talking about. Questions. Yeah. Do you think that skinwalkers, this is from Charles Lindsay, do you think that skinwalkers and shapeshifters exist? Yeah, I already answered that question. Yeah, I do. I just don't believe that they're actually turning completely from human to animal like that. I don't see how that would even be possible, but I do believe they exist. I do believe it has to do with perceptions of the witnesses. Fisher Spam says, is that a face or a Yoshi? Yashi. Yeah, I believe he's talking about in the picture that we showed. Well, that was a face, and that's the first eyewitness sketch I've done in a long time. Yeah. But I used to do them all the time, and I just don't have time anymore to sit around and draw up what everything people see. I'm lucky to be able to write down everything people tell me. So, yeah, I sure appreciate you taking the time to call in, Dave. Yoshi from Mario. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Do you, honey? Mm-hmm. I haven't played video games in maybe 25 years. Mm-hmm. Kelly Lewis says, what is a chigger? I've heard of it, but I have no idea what it is. You don't want to know what it is. You don't want to know. If you don't know by now, hon, I hope you never find out. That's right. Chigger is pure misery. That's what it is for about 2 weeks. You tell what it does. It burrows under your skin and drinks your blood, and it leaves the worst itch that you can ever imagine. Yeah. It's just you can't stop it. No matter what you do, you cannot stop it. Gabby says, hope my foot feels better. Well, Gabby, how's your knee feeling? Honey, you fell too. The same night. Everybody was falling that night. Yep. Jason fell. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we need to make sure everybody has a walking stick from now on. A walking stick and a headlamp. Right. So Larry says Barton Inhumanoids, the video you got that you called me about. Can you show that tonight, or is that podcast material?
What's that now?
Barton, Inhumanoid's the video you got that night you called me about. Can you show that tonight, or is that podcast material? I think you're going to do a show on that. He's talking about the eye shine and stuff, I believe.
Who asked that question?
Larry.
Oh, Larry. Yeah, Larry. It's all going to come out soon. I'm going to download the video tomorrow, and I'll have it out hopefully tomorrow night. I'm so far behind on everything. I really apologize to everyone. My life is just going crazy right now. There's Brother Victor. How you doing, Brother Vic?
He also says the green eyes by the creek 40 foot away. Was that on video?
Yes.
Also, you said it lowered down.
Yes, it looked like it was standing by the tree. Then when our lights hit it, thank you, Brother Vic. Thank you for your generosity here. Greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
It looked like it was standing by the tree, and then when our lights hit it, it went down to the ground. And then it just kind of looked at us a couple times and eased away, real nonchalantly.
Right.
So we have a caller here.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Cliff's Truth. So if you remember the first night we met down by the Eagle's Nest. I took you down by the Eagle's Nest. So where we seen the two solid black creatures was within 20-30 second drive from there.
Yeah, about 15-20 seconds from there.
Just so right down from where me and you first met by the Eagle's Nest. So that's where we seen what we seen, and still don't know what it was.
Right.
So just
okay, brother. Lanny, you're going to have to switch to Bluetooth, I think, okay?
Yes, sir.
Again, okay. All right, so that's much better. How you doing tonight, man?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How you doing, Bart?
I'm doing really good. So I want to...
Latisha, you doing all right?
I'm hanging in there. I'm getting a little sore here.
I seen you kind of wincing earlier.
Yeah,
You'll be all right.
I'm getting a little sore. It's time for my meds. But I'm gonna hang in there a little longer if I can.
I'm praying for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, everyone,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you, Brother Lanny. Now, everyone, this is a friend of mine. I've been talking for a little while. Don't Fear the Reaper is his screen name. So, how's it going tonight, man? Down there in Texas.
Yeah, I just brought in my chihuahuas and life's good.
Yeah?
All my chihuahuas are in here eating on their country munch over here.
Well, that's good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it actually does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Have we had any supper tonight yet?
You had pizza.
Well, that wasn't much. I'm
A
kind
whole
of getting
pizza?
hungry. Kind of getting hungry again.
I hope.
Well, Miss Sherry's trying to fatten me up. I might just eat those chocolate donuts.
They're right there.
Right? Lanny, what do you want to talk about tonight, brother?
Well,
Tell us something.
Yeah, it was something that happened to me when I moved. I originally lived in Cleveland, Texas most of my life, and I moved up to what they consider East Texas, even though Sam Houston is still East Texas, but I moved up to Tyler in that area. And then when I came back down just about 5 years ago, I had gotten real interested in camping and hiking. So I went out to Sam Houston, and this was in January of 2016, I believe. Or, I'm sorry, 2019. And I went out there and decided I was going to stay 3 nights out there by myself with nobody with me. I think my brother, he came out on the last day and stayed that last night with me. But the first 2 nights I was by myself.
Yeah.
And the first night, I went out there and set my tent up. It was a primitive campsite. It was about 1.5 miles into the woods to get to this primitive campsite. Of course, there's nothing there. It's just a pad. And I went for a week, so I did that for a reason. There's low traffic, nobody out there usually.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my chihuahuas up here on the bed, he wanted up. So I got out there the first night, and I went to sleep in my tent.
about 8:15.
Right. Good night, Brother Mark.
And when I went to sleep, I'm a real light sleeper, so I don't sleep long.
Yeah.
I'll usually wake up 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night, and then if I'm lucky, I may go back to sleep. And
Right.
so I woke up that night around 11:15, and by that point, I was real in tune with hearing the night life. And usually, if you listen to it all night, I've laid up many nights all night long because I couldn't sleep. And the night life will kind of die down, and by 3 or 4 in the morning, you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
And this particular night, I woke up at 11:15 at night, and it was just deafening quiet. It was so quiet, I was uneasy about it. And I was there for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I finally went back to sleep. But it was really strange that it was so quiet that early in the night. And anyway, I got up the next morning, and I made breakfast on the fire. And I think that was around 8:30 in the morning. And once I made my breakfast, I went down. If you go from the primitive campsite, it's just one trail out, and it tees into the main trail, and you take a left. And if you go yards down, it will kind of meet up with the bend of a stream that kind of bends up towards the trail there, right next to it. And so I went down a little, maybe a 5 or 6 foot bluff down to the stream, and I was going to wash out my stainless ware from the breakfast.
Yeah.
And so I washed it out, and while I was doing that, I had a couple that came by on the trail. They looked to be in their late 30s, early 40s, very mature couple, just a man and a woman. And they just exchanged pleasantries with me, and they went on down the trail towards where I came from. And so once I finished up, maybe a half a minute later, I went back up the bluff and started back towards my camp. I sat around a couple of hours, and being in the woods, you know, I'm a pretty big guy, and I don't know what it is about the woods, but I get an appetite constantly. And so by 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, I was ready to eat again. So I made something else for lunch. And once again,
like me, I'm eating constantly too.
Night, Mark.
Yeah,
right.
Mhm.
And once I got my lunch made up, I ate that. And while I was sitting there, something I need to point out: you cannot see from my campsite to the main trail that they've made because it kind of dog legs, so you can't see straight out that way. But if you look to the left, you can see through the woods, and you can see people coming down the trail. And I know this because later on, I noticed that. I could see, not later on this trip, but later on other trips, you can see people passing down the trail. No problem. There's just a big open spot in the canopy where you can see people coming down. I never seen anybody come down that trail ever. And so once I was done with my lunch, I went to walk back down the same path, same route, everything. Just go down there and wash up my dishes. And as I was going down this path, I came up on what was 2 broken sticks from a tree. And they were kind of leaned in on each other, and there was foliage, like green shrubbery, limbs pulled into it and weaved all through it.
Yeah. Now that's the picture you sent us, right?
Sir?
That's one of the pictures that you sent me, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's
Yes,
see if
sir.
we can pull that up for me, if you don't mind.
And I looked at it, and I said,
Tell me which one.
It's the one with the limbs laying in the trail.
at this point, I was going on, and
That one.
I kind of knew their behaviors and stuff, so I just kind of looked at it. I said, well, whatever made this, I'm not going to disturb it because I don't want any problems. I stepped over it. I went on down and washed my stuff, and I came back up. I stepped over it again. I went back to my camp. I didn't mess with it.
Yeah.
And the second night I stayed there was just a absolute gully washer. My tent leaked. Everything got wet in the middle of the night, so I had to get up the next morning, hang everything out to dry, and let it dry out. And my brother came in from that trail, and I asked him, I said, did you see anything on the trail? He said, no. And I said, huh, that's strange. But he said he never seen anything there. I don't know if it had been knocked over by someone hiking through there or what, but I didn't mess with it. Over the years, I've looked at that picture several times, probably at least a dozen times, and I've zoomed in on it, and anybody that's listening to this show, zoom in on it and look at it. I don't know anybody with two arms that could do that unless they're an octopus, you know. It would take a lot of skill to be able to do that, but it was just bizarre to me.
Yeah. Now, you also seen what you thought was a face in this picture, right?
Right.
So let's go show to that.
And I didn't even think about looking at that until I studied a lot of Scott Carpenter's stuff, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to go through all the odd pictures I've got and just see what I can find. And I didn't really find anything for I probably got maybe 100 pictures of strange stuff, and that was the one picture that had a odd looking, what appeared to be a face.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that? I can see a splash of brown color. Yeah, it looks like it's, I don't know.
What we're looking at right here?
No, right here. Yeah, right there. I don't see a body there.
Right. And I'm not saying it is one. I'm not saying, I don't even know what the hell it is. It could just be pareidolia. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I wanted the general listening audience to look at it and give their opinion, because somebody might see something I don't see. I don't know.
Right. So you guys, let's make your opinions known here. You think that's pareidolia, or you think there's some standing there? Let's go back to the original picture, baby. I think it was this one here. This one. No, that one right there. Now, I think that's a picture that you zoomed in on at the very top, right? Right, Lance? Is that the one?
I'm not looking at what you're talking about. Let me see here.
I see. Okay. You're not watching this then.
Right.
Right, I got you. Hello, Greg Ogles. How you doing, bro?
I'm not a multitasker.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So Greg Ogles said he dreamt about an earthquake in the LBO area the other night. Now that's...
Well, a lot of people are having nightmares and dreams about Tennessee getting blown up.
Really?
Yeah, I remember, I think Elijah was telling us about that. Either he had a dream or he had heard somebody had a dream, but all right, let's go back to these pictures.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let us know what you think about that, everybody.
Now I gotta go to
James
comments.
Alito says, or Alito, I see faces everywhere if I look long enough, right?
Yeah, I see that.
Right. Okay. So, all right, go ahead and take it down, honey. Now, who was it that sent you a picture of an orb at their trail cam?
That was a friend of mine. I've known him since high school. 50 now. He's the same age.
Yeah.
And his dad has been a trapper, hunter, tracker, fisherman since he was a little kid, and he taught his kids the same way.
Yeah.
And so Jason, his son, has been doing this all his life. He can go out on the Trinity River and come back with a boatload of catfish. And so he called me the other day, and to kind of set the stage, he didn't know anything about this stuff until about 2 years ago. I started talking to him. And I hadn't talked to him in several years, probably 20 years, but I asked him one day, I said, have you ever had anything strange happen while you're hunting or fishing or anything? And he opened up and started talking to me about several things that, you know, I felt blessed that he was telling me about it, because there were some things I have never heard anybody even on the radio talk about, really.
Really? Now,
Or
you sent
on
us,
YouTube.
now this is a guy with the trail cam picture of the orb, right? How you want, is it okay if we show that?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it'll be the
color
now,
one.
let's show the color one first to show them. Now, this is a daylight shot. Okay, now go to the nighttime. And this is the one with the orb in it. I hope you guys can see that. Strange looking light. Now, it's going from left to right, but it's shining a light behind it. Isn't that bizarre?
Now, the thing he told me about that was even though it looks like a light shining from somebody with a light, okay,
Mm-hmm.
he walked out there. He said the next morning after he seen this picture, which gets instantly sent to his phone, he walked out there, and his property adjoins a rancher's property. And this picture was taken right along the fence line. And he said there was about a foot deep of coastal grass growing there. He said there was no four-wheeler marks, no footprints, nothing indicating any kind of impressions in the grass where this light was at.
Wow.
Right. And it's got like a little tail on it.
Right.
Doesn't it, Lanny?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Very, very strange. Okay, so now is this the same person that found that odd footprint?
Yes, that's him. Yes, and he found it the same day he was out there kind of investigating whether or not there was any kind of impressions left from that light that he had on game cam.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's this footprint, guys, that he found. If you look very closely, it looks like it has two toes or a hoofed animal, but of course it's elongated way too much to be a deer. And now keep in mind that no one knows what made this footprint. I showed it to my wildlife biologist friend, and he had no idea what made it. And if it wasn't made by some kind of natural animal, a deer, I don't know, walking in his tracks or running or whatever, then the only thing that I could think of that makes prints like this, as far as Inhumanoids go, is a goat man. So what your friend might have down there in Texas, Lanny, is orbs and a goat man.
Well, he's less than a mile from the Trinity River. Makes a real big bend up close to his house. He's less than a mile from the Trinity River.
Yeah.
And he's had a lot of other strange stuff that at the time when it happened to him, we weren't in connection, so he didn't know what it was. But once he talked to me, I kind of filled him in, and now everything's starting to click for him.
Yeah. Well, he's told you one story. I know it's secondhand, but I know you're going to try to get him to contact me. But tell us all the story of when he's fishing on the river and saw that giant bird. Now, before you do that, I want to ask everyone in the chat, please go hit the like button if you don't mind. It really does help. And if you're a subscriber, please make sure that you're still subscribed. A lot of funny, shady stuff going on in this platform, so I don't want to dwell on it, but just make sure you're still subbed. Okay, Lanny, let's hear about his Thunderbird sighting, which I found totally interesting. I love these Thunderbird stories.
Yes, sir.
Could be a true cryptid, but not Inhumanoids, right?
Sir?
It's so the Thunderbirds, it could be true cryptids and not Inhumanoids, which are not cryptids at all.
Well, you got me on that one. I don't have no idea what the difference is between
That's-
the two.
Well, cryptid by definition is a animal that's a natural animal that's rumored to exist but not yet classified by science.
Right.
And
Okay,
these,
yes.
what people call cryptids, when they call Bigfoot and Dogman and Mothman cryptids, they're totally off base with that because these things are not natural animals. They're part human.
Sure.
And there is no partly human cryptid in existence.
Sure.
So yeah, let's hear about the Thunderbird there.
What he had told me, and this goes back to me asking him if he had ever seen anything strange or unusual while hunting or fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, yes, actually back in, he said around 2000, it was him, his brother, and his cousin, which I know all three of them. And he said they were on the Trinity River, and there was an area that you could only access during flood stage or when the river was up. And so they were in this area, a little branch off of the main river. And he said they were duck hunting, which is something they do a lot of. And once they gained access to this branch, they were going up through it, just running the trolling motor. They weren't running their main outboard motor. And he said they came to a bend that went to the right, a real hard bend to the right. And he was running the trolling motor. His cousin was in front of him, and his brother was up on the stern of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, when you're duck hunting, everything's like bumping in sign language. There's no talking or any noise.
Right.
So as they made this hard bend to the right, his brother and his cousin, he said, were looking around that bend, waiting to see if they're going to see a flock of ducks or something. And he said he decided to look off to his left. And when he looked off to his left, he said over on the bank, he said there was a bird that stood his height, and his height is 6'1" or 6'2". And he said it was as tall as him, as wide as him or wider. And he said this thing just stood there looking at him. And he said it was standing on a deer hide or a deer carcass. What he said to me was a deer hide.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Lad's got this feeling like this thing was pissed off. It looked at me like it was pissed off that we were there. And he said, I reached up and touched my cousin in the back. And as he slowly turned his head towards me, I pointed to my left. He looked out there and seen it. He did the same thing to Jason's brother that's sitting up on the stern of the boat. They all seen it. And he said while they were looking, this bird flared its wings out. And he said it was every bit of 25 foot long from wingtip to wingtip when it flared its wings out.
Wow.
And he said maybe longer, but he said, I'm thinking 25 to 28 feet, somewhere in there. And he said it just looked pissed off. He said the face on it. He said, I didn't even think about raising the shotgun or wanting to shoot it or anything. He said it wouldn't have done nothing to it.
Wow.
And he said, I seen the feet of it, the talons on it. He said, if this thing would have flown at me, it could have just ripped my head right off my shoulders. If it had grabbed a hold of my head, it ripped my head right off.
Wow.
And he
That's a
said,
huge bird.
Sir?
That's a huge bird with 25-foot wingspan. That's incredibly
Yes, sir.
large.
And he said once they made the bend up there, he said as soon as this thing got out of view, I reached back and yanked the rope on the outboard, and we got out of there. And just like you hear with all the Bigfoot stories, he said nobody said a word about it all the way back. He said we got up there, loaded the boat onto the truck, and when we were going home, finally somebody said something about it. I don't know who it was. And they said, we're not going to say anything. Nobody's going to believe us anyway.
Right.
And,
Well, he's wrong about that. There are people out here that believe people who are telling the truth, but that bird was even bigger than the Thunderbird that I saw in 1998. It only had about a 20-foot wingspan, I estimate. So it would probably been 5 or 6 foot tall if it was standing in the middle of the road. And, you know, the people see these things and they're not lying. You know, they have no reason to lie. There's nothing that you gain from this, right?
right,
Other
right.
than if you want people to think that you're crazy or a fantastic liar, which are
Right.
both negative things. You know, people don't usually want that for themselves.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I think he felt when he was telling me about it.
Yeah.
And he didn't know I had a pretty good in-depth knowledge on cryptids. And he said, that's what happened. And that's, you know, I'm sticking to it. I said, well, what you seen was a Thunderbird. He
Yeah.
said, what? I said, have you seen a Thunderbird? I said, it goes back for millennia in Indian Nation, you know,
Right.
history.
Yeah, they call them Thunderbirds because they're usually seen riding the thermals that race ahead of thunderstorms, right?
Correct, yes.
So to the Indians, the Thunderbirds themselves brought the thunder. But
Right.
really, the birds are so big that they were riding the thermals that go out before the thunder hits. So yeah, it's just I love these stories here, and you know, I love to talk to your friend. Just make sure that he knows that there are people out here that will believe him. They already know the truth, right?
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah.
And I felt, you know, I told you this, I felt really blessed that I got to talk to someone that has seen a Thunderbird, because you do not hear about those often. You just
Right.
don't.
Exactly right.
So,
Really interesting.
yes, sir. He's got some strange stuff going on. He's got other stories, but the Thunderbird stuff really blew me away.
Yeah. Excuse me. Me too. That's always like to talk to people who are like-minded and seen things, you know, like I have. But the Thunderbird that I saw didn't look like that one. Excuse me. It wasn't a regular bird. It was a pterodactyl type bird, solid rib, no feathers, just a ring of brown hair around each ankle, real long, skinny wings. It was really, really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was back in 1998, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. Excuse me, y'all. I'm still trying to get well. So, Lanny, is there anything that's happened to you personally that you'd like to share?
Well, just little stuff, never a sighting, but
Yeah.
I was going to add to your Thunderbird thing.
Sure. Go right ahead.
I don't even know if it's still on YouTube, but there was a missionary couple, a very elderly couple. I believe the husband's already dead, but the wife is still alive. And they went down to South America to do some missionary work. And the wife, who was well into her 70s probably, gave an excellent recounting of seeing what you've seen, one without feathers on it, flying right over a river system where it cut a river way down into a canyon.
Really?
And she said it went right by her head and she watched it go past. Which was, I found that really fascinating.
Yeah. So this bird here looked like it flew straight out of I don't know, out of another time, another era, you know. Don't really think it was a flesh and blood bird. I mean, you know, because if it had kept flying, other people would have seen it and reported it. Eventually, I'd have got a reporter to make its way back to me, but I never did. Never did hear anybody else seeing this thing. So there were two of us that saw it. So neither one of us is crazy. So I know that it was actually there flying in the air.
Well, that's odd because you think about visuals, and you have like you and somebody else seeing it, nobody else saw it,
Mhm.
and then you think about the audio or the audibles with vocalizations, and it could be someone in a camp with 10 other campers, and they hear something that vibrates their insides, and they ask everybody else. Nobody hears it.
Right.
Very weird.
Very strange. I think it's all a matter of perception, you know, and I think that most of us are under a satanic spell when it comes to our perception that we don't even know about. One of these days, I'm going to get into that with everybody that has an ear to listen.
I'd like to hear that.
Definitely will, but we don't have time to do it tonight. Latisha's getting uncomfortable. So does anybody have any questions for anyone that you'd like to ask? And Lanny, would you like to add anything further, bro?
Not this time. That's all I have. I appreciate everybody listening.
Well, we appreciate you calling in and sharing. Yeah, if everybody was more like you, you know, we would know. We wouldn't be so confused. So that's the only thing we can do when we have these experiences is get up here in front of people and be truthful and tell people, right? That's how we help people to learn. That's how we help our fellow man.
Right.
That's the only way. It's the only thing we can do.
And something else I'll add. I've been saying this for a couple of years. I live in Cleveland, Texas. If anybody's had any kind of experience or something in the woods that's ruined your camping experience, I'm more than happy to go camping with you and show you that, you know, you don't have to be scared out there.
Right.
Don't let that ruin your hunting. Don't let it run your camping or hiking, because I went through what I call bushcraft rehab for maybe a year, where I had to figure out, okay, is this worth even going out in the woods for? Because that's so many weird things happen.
Yeah.
And I was putting it all together and trying to figure it out. But if anybody needs any help, you know, just getting out and going hiking or going camping, I'm here.
Yeah. And thanks for doing that, man. Same here. You know, I'll never let these negative experiences keep me out of the woods, because I love the woods. That's where I'm most home, you know, the woods and the water. That's where I'm most happy. And I just have faith in the Lord Jesus Christ that he protects me from these things. And if he wanted me to be harmed or killed by these things, he would have allowed that to happen long ago. So I never let any of my experiences keep me from enjoying my time outdoors. You know, Latisha and I, we go creek walking and camping all the time, and I know fully what's out there. And it's not like I'm intentionally taking my wife into a danger zone, right? It's because I have complete faith that Jesus Christ and God will protect us from these evil creatures, the evil types. You know, I'm not saying everything's an alien or a demon, right? I don't even believe that aliens exist. Yeah, but I know that demons exist because I was visited by one a couple of nights, and it was not pleasant. So I do think that the government is making a type of Inhumanoid, or several different types. Are experimenting with chimeras, and they've already admitted so as much on TV. So I think we have the natural type, which are the ones that the government are making, which are purely flesh and blood. And then we have the evil spirits of the earth, which are capable of manifesting themselves in however they wish, whether it be a dog or a Bigfoot or a UFO or anything else. So that's what we're dealing with. And I have complete faith that the Lord will protect us, me and my wife, and anybody that's with me, from both of these things. So yeah, don't let your experiences scare you away from nature, because nature was made for us all to enjoy, right?
Sure it was.
And now the government has these doggone chiggers that they release. One bite from these chiggers will kill a man. What do you think about that, Lanny? That's not fair.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, Google killer chiggers and see. Why would they even want to do that, man? It's like these ticks that they infected with Lyme disease, right? And I'm a victim of that.
Right.
So had it for 15 years now, and it's not something that I would wish on anyone, especially before it's treated. It makes you really, really sick. And they say that it leads to all kinds of problems in your future, like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and all that stuff can be linked to these infected ticks. So get out there in the woods, enjoy it. Make sure that you're protected from the ticks and the chiggers. I guess you have to get a full body pantyhose, like was please tell who was that?
Glad to find out where you
I
get
need,
those.
yeah, it's gonna feel funny wearing them, but I would definitely wear them to keep from getting bit, eaten alive, and bitten by ticks and chiggers. It's no fun. And then you have to worry about the natural things that can hurt you or kill you, and just falling down out there in the wild.
Mhm.
If you fall the right way, you could get seriously injured or even die. So lots of things to consider when you go out there, but do not let these evil creatures or the negative experiences keep you away from God's beauty.
Right.
So that's the way I look at it. And thank you for offering to help anyone get over their fear of that. Same here. Like I say, we're not strangers to meeting our fans or our viewers, extended YouTube family and friends. So that's why we were down in LBL last weekend. It wasn't for a meeting of the Brotherhood. We had agreed to meet a couple of our viewers that were really, really nice. And it was a lady that keeps writing us handwritten letters. So, yeah, and she's not on YouTube or anything like that. But so, yeah, help as many people as you can. That's what we're here for. And thanks a lot, Lanny, for calling in and sharing that with us, bro. We sure appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I hope I helped someone who may have questions, and I hope you and Miss Latisha are good, and I hope Miss Latisha gets well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Lanny. You have a great night down there in Texas, and God bless you and your family, bro.
Yes, sir. I love y'all.
Love you too, man. Talk to you soon.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Sherry says, does anyone see a dogman standing on two legs by the larger tree? I'm assuming she's talking about that one picture.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about there.
Says, I saw a shadow person turn into an orb.
Really, Greg? Well, that's interesting. So, yeah, I'm going to have you come on the show sometime, Greg. I know you have a lot of experiences that you've had in your life with different kinds of unexplained phenomena. So, yeah, sometime if you don't mind, I'd like to have you come talk to our listeners and our viewers.
JD Smith says, if you had my encounter, you wouldn't be saying that. I promise you that.
Yeah, what do you mean, JD? Wouldn't be saying what?
I'm not sure what he was talking about. Donnie, we'll talk about that. And I got to go back to the live chat real quick. I just missed one. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm not doing too good here.
Are you all right, honey?
I'm trying to hang in there.
Well, we're not going to go much longer. Everyone's got to get up to work and go to work tomorrow, so I don't want to keep everybody from getting their sleep. I know how hard it is to work with too little sleep. So, got any more questions or anything that you guys want to throw out at us? Throw them on out, and we'll see if we can answer them real quick. And
I probably missed them, but I'm sorry.
So, Eclipse Truth, that's Jenny, right?
Yep,
you don't have to send us money, hon.
No, send a bunch of pictures.
We appreciate everyone that's willing to show up and listen to us speak, and just being here is just so uplifting for us. And those of you who want to donate and can afford that, we sure appreciate it. We're trying to grow, and we're trying to get some more equipment. It's sometimes you need some good equipment to come up with the best evidence, and sometimes all you need is a crazy hillbilly and a cell phone. So I'd like to have both bases covered. We'd like to get us a thermal imaging camera for sure. That way nothing can sneak up on us.
It's coming as soon as possible.
Definitely.
So let's say our good nights and say thank yous. If you guys don't mind, I'm sorry, I'm feeling kind of bad. Need to lay down. So Catherine Gay, thank you so much for your super sticker.
Yes,
Sherry
thank you, Catherine.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Josh Turner. I didn't see you there earlier.
Sherry Griffey, thank you so much. And I
Thank you,
appreciate all the protein shakes. I'll be having those for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a while, it seems.
Yeah, and I will be eating those donuts you sent. Thank you so
Probably
much.
tonight.
I love chocolate donuts.
Thank you, Madeline. We appreciate you. Sugar Britches, thank you for the super sticker. High Roller and his little witch, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Alan Howe, thank you so much for the super sticker.
Thank you,
James
Alan.
Aletto, appreciate that. Fisher Spam, thank you. Donnie Cho
Hello, Fisher. Thank you.
says stuff. Wants me to come on and talk some wrestling. And Amy Creel, thank you so much
Thank you, Amy.
for body pantyhose fun.
Good to
We
see
had
you,
to
hon.
find out
Yeah.
where those came from. So
Yeah. Can you guys send us a link where we can buy some of those full body hoses? Poncho, can you send us a link, bro?
right, we need to know where those came from. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're gonna say, listen, okay, thank you, Rissa. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for all the prayers. Sorry, we're gonna have to cut this a little short, but I gotta hop off. So good night, guys. We love y'all.
Yeah, we love you guys. Thank you for showing up tonight. We appreciate every one of you. And just remember, when hard times seem like they're coming, don't be scared. Be prepared. Jesus Christ is the answer, the way, the truth, and the life. And no one escapes the truth. Okay, so treat each other well. Be nice to each other. Lift each other up, and don't try to tear each other down. Right. Lend a hand. Help your fellow neighbors. We love you guys. You love you guys. God bless each and every one of you. Hope you're all safe and well. And don't forget to say the prayers for the people on our prayer request list. And it's we all help each other, and we can all get there together. So good night. We love you guys. Take care.
Good night. Love you guys.